The sound of progress, according to the medic, is the sound of Heavy's heart exploding. Well, this line is one of many awesome, witty jokes in the Meet the Team series of videos. This one got me thinking, just what exactly is the sound of progress? Progress is such a fundamental human quality. Our ability to actively progress is what has allowed us to move above our wild counterparts. So, I decided to find out what you could truly call the sound of progress. And what better day to do this than on the 10-year anniversary of Meet the Medic being released on YouTube. I would take that the medic calls the sound of progress with a grain of salt. By the way, if you are wondering why, well, go play some TF2 and figure it out for yourself. A better place to consider the sound of progress is in the Carousel of Progress, one of the many amazing creations from the one and only Walt Disney. Walt Disney was an awesome innovator for many reasons, but many people focus on Walt's early creations. People don't focus on the amazing things Walt was working on later in his life. For example, Walt partnered with General Electric to design and build a pavilion for the 1964-65 World's Fair in New York City. The pavilion was originally called Progress Land, focused on the impact of electricity on progress. In the introduction, the narrator explains that progress is not just moving ahead, it's dreaming and working and building a better way of life. Progress is the sound of a motor, the hum of a turbine, the heartbeat of a factory. The first one right there. The sound of a motor is classified as a sound of progress by the company that is responsible for so many innovations from the last century that have shaped the world we live in today. There was a time when General Electric was everywhere. Now they have stepped out of the spotlight and are focused on stuff that consumers generally don't see, like designing and manufacturing jet engines and wind turbines. So, Walt and General Electric suggested the sound of progress as the sound of a motor running, which I completely agree with. You see, the sound of a regular motor makes, it's actually the same sound that you hear in many other electronic devices around you at this very moment. The sound you don't even realize you hear all the time is this wonderful sound called mains hum. Now, if you play electric guitar, you may be aware of what mains hum is, and you may not be a fan of it. That is because it is often interfering with what you're playing. But can you blame it? It is the sound of electricity flowing through the components in your guitar. It is most prominently heard in AC devices, and since there are different voltages for outlets around the world, there's actually a different frequency of mains hum depending on where you are. I live in Canada, and here mains hum is 60 Hz. But what exactly is mains hum? You see, when you run electricity through a wire, it produces a magnetic field. The magnetic field will cause the components in that device to vibrate, causing the pieces that are vibrating to make noise. What noise? Well, mains hum, of course. Now think about the world we live in today. It would be a pretty different world if we were unable to harness the power of electrons to our advantage. Electricity has allowed us to advance at such a quick rate never before seen in human history. Thousands of years of human evolution have built up to today, where we are able to harness such a fundamental property of the universe that is electricity. It may have been in the 1700s when we discovered how to harness electricity, which seems like a really long time ago, way longer than any of us today have been alive for, but that discovery was hundreds of thousands of years in the making. It truly is a gift to be alive in this day and age, when innovation is so available for people to harness. We are living in an age like no other, because our ability to progress has never been this easy, and the harnessing of electrons has allowed us to reach this ability. Thus, I truly believe that mains hum, that annoying sound you hear when you're in an empty hallway with fluorescent lights, is the sound of progress. Sorry, medic, but you were way off on this one.